see the question again.
Okay, so the question was, how did I come to become a medium? I was a member of the church for quite a while, and my first husband had begun to come with me and was interested in it. And they had a couple of circles where they were trying to train people to be mediums. And so they wanted my husband to come because for the male energy, they had a circle which was made up of all women, and nobody was going anywhere or doing anything. And so they talked to me and said, is it okay if we ask your husband? And I said, sure. And she says, and don't worry, as soon as we get a chance, we'll let you join too. So I kind of got in on the tails of someone else. And basically that's what happened. My husband came, attended the circle, and then eventually they told me I could attend the circle. And he became elected to the local school board. It conflicted with the nights we had the meetings, and so he dropped out, but I stayed on. And I was kind of like a natural at it. It happened very easily for me. I've come to understand there's something called human design. And Kathy Kirsten teaches courses in that. And basically it's based on your astrology. And it, I took a class in it once, but it was a couple of years ago. And so I don't exactly remember the process, but it sets up, it describes you in a way that has zones. I don't know how to put it, like there's a triangle around your head and there's a triangle around your chest. And these things all are either open or shut. All my head zones that they have in there, which were like, there's 3 of them, they are, for me, it's all open. Now I have since tried to teach a class in mediumship. And out of that class, which we only had maybe 3 or 4, had 4 other people in it, only one of them really turned out to be a good medium. And just coincidentally, she and I have the same birthday, October 10th. She was born a different year than I, but she also has an open head. I can't remember what they're called, but it's either open or closed. And when it's closed, you're very structured. And I don't want to say rigid, but if you can think of somebody who is very organized and always does things just in the right way in certain ways, this is the difference between being open and being structured. And I have this open mind, which is, oh, I'll take in anything. And the other people in the class were not open, and none of them did particularly well. So I think that's there's just something in my physiology which allows this to happen. And essentially, spirit, after being given permission to come in, it kind of settles down in me, and it's part of me. And I can hear everything. This is the way it works for me. It's different for other mediums, but I hear all the questions and I just begin to speak. I don't think of the answers. For those of you who may be coming a long time, you may notice that very often Rankar or even Wana, or if you were talking to any of my other spirits, especially Rankar though, he'll say, one moment. And for that minute, or for the moment that he's gone, my mind is blank. I'm not thinking of the question. I don't know what's happening. I'm just sitting here. And then he comes back in and he begins to speak. And then he gives you an answer. To me, that's an amazing thing that's happening, because I know I'm not sitting here trying to think of an answer. I just sit here. And it's just different. And I know so many more things when Rankar is with me than I do on my own. Certainly, so anyhow, that's my process. Essentially, what doing when we go through the prayer of protection and the opening prayer and then a prayer of protection. And during the Our Father, I'm giving permission for Juana to come in so she can say hello to everyone. She's my joy guide, as you know. And then she goes to get Rankar, and she'll, I don't know, she goes away. I don't feel anything. And then all of a sudden, the other presence will come in and maybe my head will lift, my eyes will open, because Juana never opens my eyes, but she always smiles broadly, which was the first thing I noticed when she came in. I had this big smile on my face. And even though she couldn't talk, she couldn't manipulate my body in any way, I had a big smile. And then later on, when she got good at making, it took her a little while to figure out how to make me make a sound. In the meantime, she opened and closed my mouth, moved my tongue around. I do things like that. And my voice was very breathy for a long time. And then she asked, asked the people in the group that I was with, she said, how do you make it louder? And they gave her some sort of an explanation, and slowly she learned to make it louder and speak better. And that was my training for this. And then that's basically it. So I hope you found that interesting.
It was, thank you.
Does anybody else have a question? Barbara, do you have another question?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay, I just see you still have your blue hand up in the air. So you
I'm
can.
having trouble. People are not getting in, and I don't know why. Just weird. Now the thing is, Mahesh was having trouble. People are coming in. I don't know
Yes, there's a lot of people having trouble coming in. So this has been sad that we're having so much difficulty. Irene Weinberg has made it. And Mahesh Shaw. I know. Who's that up there? Irene. Hello, Irene. She's put her video on so we can see what Irene looks like. I don't know whether that'll make it harder for other people to come in, but at any rate, so I guess is there any other questions anybody has? Okay, then I'm going to go into trance. So I'll say a little opening prayer, and then we'll say the white light prayer together. And I think it would be really nice if one or two of you would unmute to Om when Juana is doing the Oms, so that there's more than one. So it's, for me, I don't just hear my voice, I'll hear everybody else's, and that'll give me a little more energy, which is very helpful. So, dear Lord, we've gathered together in this evening, seeking interesting knowledge, understanding, and we welcome your Holy Spirits into our midst for the information, help, and guidance they can bring to us. And for this, we give great thanks. Amen. We surround ourselves with the white light of truth. Nothing but that which is of the truth or for our good shall approach us. For we are children of God, and he will protect us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread.
Forgive us our trespasses.
As we forgive those
who
trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. And I think we need more than just a medium trying to say the prayer and let go at the same time. So if you didn't guess, this is Juana. Hi, everybody, and let's Om. Om. everybody again. I was very warbly in that singing. I wonder why that happened. I do not know why, but it was interesting, wasn't it? You hear me go, whoa. Well, okay, so welcome this evening. We're happy that you could join with us today. And I understand other people are trying to come in, but everybody's having some problems. I think there are many people all trying to use the equipment at the same time to do different things. But I am going to get everybody who's online with us right now a healer, and as other people come in, I'm going to get them healers too, so you don't have to worry about that. So everybody, just a moment, I'm getting you all a healer right now. Okay, well, the healers are lined up and I have some extras handy in case other people come through. And now I will get Ronkar. One moment, please. Good evening. It is I, Ronkar. It is my pleasure to be with you in this evening. You have recently celebrated a holiday which is dedicated to honoring people from the past who have fought on behalf of the country, and not honoring just those who gave their lives for the country, but all those who gave part of their life, a period of time in service to others. I cannot stress how important it is to be willing to be of service to others. It is not that you need to join the armed forces or that you must fight for your country. It is that you seek to be of service to others, for that is how you create success in your life. When you serve others, you are desired. There is no other way to put it. Everyone desires someone to be of service to themselves. And that person who is of service can take the form of the banker, the store clerk, the waiter or waitress, the cooks in restaurants, the secretaries, the salespeople, the doctors, the nurses. Every possible form of employment is a form of service to someone else. And it is important if you reflect on yourself and how important it is to have these people present in your life. So that if you wish to purchase something at a store but need information, there is a salesperson nearby who can give you that information or seek to help you. It is their job. It is how they earn their money, but they are serving you. Many people may find the salesperson annoying because they feel that that person will be pressuring them to purchase something they may not want to purchase. But in truth, that salesperson is there to be of service. From the lowest file clerk to the executive assistant to the manager or the chief executive officer of a company, all are in service to others. The file clerk serves at the lowest level, but it is important that she or he be there, because then when information is needed, records needed, they can be found, they can be consulted, and that is important for good business. When a decision needs to be made on what is best for the corporation, that is when it is necessary for the chief executive officer to be of service. For if he makes a good decision for the business, all will be served, all will be successful. Because if the business is successful, all the employees continue to be employed with benefits and the money coming to them, a sense of purpose. There are many things which benefit other people from the decisions of the CEO. Yes, we all benefit one another by service. And so that is important when you are doing your job, to be aware of the services that you can provide to others. Smiles are a wonderful service, which go underappreciated by those who are giving them. You may not think it is necessary to smile and greet everyone, but no matter what your job capacity is, a smile will go a long way to creating harmonious conditions between you and your coworkers. If everyone works together, everyone achieves success. And so it is important to be harmonious. And when you recognize that you serve one another by doing the job that you do to the best of your ability, then it is that everyone lives, works, and is in harmony, and everyone prospers, and everyone is happy. You see, it is a simple law of this creation, that what you put out is what returns to you. And so when you put out your best, you are most likely to get your best back. When you give without hesitation, things will in return come to you that will be returned, your generosity. And as we go back to those who served the country by giving part of their time, part of their lives, and even their physical life upon the earth, to the common good of serving in war, or in the Army, or the Navy, or the Marines, or the Air Force, your armed services, that all these people in their time of service gave up other things to be of service. Now, some people may say they had no choice. They were drafted. They were made to go. They chose to go. And that service was because they desired that. But that is the way it is with all service. This medium serves you because she desires to be of service in this way, and to let her ability to be put aside and allow her body to be used to give messages, information, advice, or guidance from me or other spirits. This is a service she performs, but all of you perform services for others. And it is in your best interest to be of service, for in being of service, you become important, irreplaceable. And when you are important and irreplaceable is when you prosper the most. And when you appreciate the fact that your service helps others, then you will feel fulfilled and happy in your work. And so on the day that has passed already, yesterday, when you honored those people who gave their lives, you honored those people who spent their time, know that you also honored yourself, for you too serve on behalf of others. Are there any questions on what I've spoken of in this evening? And if there are no questions on that subject, feel free to ask a question on any subject you desire.
Rankar, it's Elizabeth. It's a different question from what you spoke on. I was just wondering how I or we in general discover who we were in past lives.
There are some techniques by which you can discover on your own what you may have been in a past life. One of them is a free association technique when you would move into a period of contemplation with a desire to know about something from a past life. And so the question would be, before you entered into your meditation, your contemplation, you might have a subject. And you might have information about yourself, or maybe a question about yourself that goes something like, why am I afraid of heights? That is a simple fear that many people have. Why am I afraid of heights? And then you sit contemplating the question, eyes closed, why am I afraid of heights? Well, your mind might take you to what it feels like when you stand at a high level. And did that bring up other feelings for yourself? How do you feel? And so you can follow that back by simply asking questions. Why do I feel like this? Why is this? Why does that happen? And you may discover suddenly a memory, a feeling, a knowledge and a knowing that this is what happened to you at some other time in another lifetime. And you may even see that this has shaped this lifetime with a challenge that you are continually dealing with. That is a good thing for you to find out when it comes to discovering other lives. Otherwise, there is no purpose in looking into past lives. You want to know, what lesson did you need to learn? Another excellent way is simply to see a hypnotist and ask him for a regression to another life. And they will put you in the altered state of hypnosis, and they will take you back in time or to another lifetime, where they will prompt you with questions and ask you about what you are doing, and your name, and what time period it is, or something along the line. It is very often difficult to establish a particular time period because the calendars have not always been the same, and people are not always terribly aware of what year it is, particularly quite some time ago in peasant situations. It was not important to know what the year was. What the month was, perhaps, and of course the time of year would be necessary for you to plan your life and food and be aware of your needs for the coming future. But as to whether it is, we will just say 2010 or 2020, it doesn't make any difference many times in what you are doing. What might make a difference, of course, is who was king or queen, or what was most important in your life. So that is also an excellent way to find out. Now, it is my understanding and my knowledge, for I am aware of the things that happen around the medium, is that at her church, they do often offer services of regression in that way. You can make individual appointments with a hypnotist, or you can join a class experience where everyone will be hypnotized to go back into a previous lifetime altogether. Each one will have their own experience, of course, but perhaps if you are aware and can make this type of a class, then you can find out. But for yourself, sometimes sitting in contemplation with just the desire to understand yourself better and to know why something is happening in your life. And of course, if you are attending this circle where the title is Ask Spirit Anything, you can also ask for some knowledge about a previous lifetime from Juana is the best person to ask. She does that sort of thing, but if necessary, I will do it also. Are there other questions?
Do you have access to the Akashic records? Can we get access to them to find out what our purpose is in life?
I understand the question. Many people have the question, what is my purpose in life? In general, the answer is always the same. It is to design a life for yourself, which is filled with happiness and prosperity. This is what you came to do, to experience a beautiful incarnation in which you are happy, successful, and of course then prosperous. And that is not a answer that most people like to hear, I am quite aware. They are asking a different question when they ask, what is my purpose? Why did I come? The truth is, you only came to create a very successful incarnation. But to do that, it goes back to my question of service. To have a successful incarnation, what you are asking when you say, what is my purpose? You are asking, in what way can I be of service to others? Because what else is there as a purpose? It is to be of service to others. And so, if you are a nurse, you tend the sick. If you are a doctor, you also tend the sick and try to make people well, the same as a nurse. If you were other kinds of healthcare professionals, well, maybe your service, your sense of purpose is just to make people comfortable, to change the bed linen so they are clean and crisp and comfortable for someone who may not be able to stand or move around and must stay in bed. Your service may be of the most humble type, but is still an important service. It may be that you just came to organize people's files and are an assistant somewhere along the way. Maybe you came as a salesperson. And again, you seek to serve others by helping them buy shoes, by bringing them different styles to try on, and you are of service. So when people say, what is my purpose? It is probably a more accurate question to say, why did I come? What kind of service am I suited for? But that answer can best be answered by yourself. What kind of service can you give to others? That is your purpose in life. Some of you perhaps were just parents, a mother. You had many children or even one child, but you nurtured that child. Perhaps you homeschooled that child, but you cooked dinner, perhaps for your husband. You made a happy home for your family. That may not seem like a purpose, but it certainly is. And you need to understand that however you serve, it is a noble act. And so you should take pride in your service. So when you say, what is my purpose? It is whatever you determine your purpose is. The Akashic records are a record of everything that has happened. So in truth, if you had discussions in spirit with other spirits advising or guiding you, or just conversations, so to speak. And remember that since we do not use words, these things are a totally different experience than it is being in the physical world, where you have language and must convert thoughts into words. in spirits, these things are well known. The thought, you have the thought, everyone can understand your thought. Those who are interested pay attention to your thought. Those who are not interested, it is just background noise, and they don't pay any attention to what you are thinking or you are saying, so to speak. And of course, you cannot speak because you do not have a body. It is, you can understand, I am sure, the difficulty when it comes to speaking of things in spirit. So if you had been advised by someone that you could come into the world and you could serve in this particular way, be a teacher or anything at all, then that might be given to you. But when you come into the physical world, all of the things that you know are somewhat eclipsed by all the sensations and everything that is going on in the physical body. As a result, that total awareness and clarity of thought that you have when you enter into the physical body is, and as a baby, which of course is totally limited in its ability to express itself, do anything for itself. And so you do not have the opportunity to utilize those services. And as the brain and the mind of the baby grows, that which you knew may have become buried. Circumstances in your life that you thought were conducive to allowing you to be of service in a particular way may not turn out as you thought they would. And so you may be left with, you wish to be a doctor or a nurse or a teacher and you need more education, but your parents have less money due to whatever has happened in their lives, which was not what you thought would happen when you took an incarnation. You see, incarnations are always interesting in as much as they change, and they will not turn out exactly as you planned them. But there is always the opportunity that comes to you when you desire it and you know it. So when you decide what your purpose is, you find a way to do what it is you feel is necessary for yourself, to care for others, to help others to grow, to be of service in whatever way you choose. And that is your purpose in life. You cannot fail, Cheryl, because you are the determiner of what you do. You are the creator, and you take all the steps that are necessary for you to fulfill your own dreams, for your dreams are your purpose. Are there any questions on what I have said?
No, that was very good, because I just keep thinking, you get stuck in a pattern of doing for people, and when do you start to do for yourself?
Well, that is a question. In a way, you need to ask yourself, if you put other people's desires and needs entirely ahead of yourself, do you do that because it gives you pleasure to do that? Or I would infer from your question and what you are saying that sometimes you are feeling put upon and not appreciated for the work that you do. And so you have to evaluate why you feel that way. Are you looking for something back when you do something for someone? And if they do not give you the appreciation and acknowledge the work that you have done, perhaps you are not feeling happy over that situation. Then you are not doing it because you like to do it or it makes you feel better. You are doing it for appreciation. And that should be recognized, that I am doing this strictly for the appreciation that people express to me. If they don't express appreciation, I am unhappy. So maybe you need to find something that you do that pleases you, whether or not other people appreciate it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. I'm not really looking for appreciation. I'm just looking for an end to doing. Just get to a point where you get a little bit of a breather and can enjoy doing it again for somebody.
Well, then you need to take the time for yourself. It is simply saying, if the next person who comes to you just after you have finished doing for someone else and you are tired and you need time for yourself, then it is important for you to refuse the solicitations of others. Say, yes, I would dearly love to help you, but I am very tired. I need to have a week to myself where I have nothing to do but the things that I want to do for me. If you are willing to wait a week, I will try to be of service. But right now, I am the most important thing in my world. Of course, you do not have to say that, but it is up to me to take care of myself. For you are the only one who cares about you as much as you do. Other people may appreciate you, they may love you, but it is important for everyone to take care of themselves. That is your first duty to yourself. So therefore, if you need time off, you need to tell people who are always coming to you for help that you need the time off. You cannot help them until you've had your day of rest. And your day of rest may take a month, it may take a week, it may take a year. It does not matter. It is entirely up to you, though, to give yourself the rest that you need. And so that is a form of loving yourself. You need to love yourself, to honor yourself enough to say no to the people who seek your help and whatever it is you have to offer when you need to take care of yourself. You will be most happy to help someone at a later date, and they can wait their turn till that date has shown up. If they become angry with that, that is too bad. They don't think enough of you to understand that you need the rest, that you need the time for yourself. And so therefore you have lost nothing if they leave your life. But it is up to you to state and take care of yourself, that you need your time to rest and your time to do for yourself in order to be well and happy and healthy. And this is very important for you. So I hope you can learn to say no.
Thank you.
You are most welcome. Are there other questions? It seems like there are no other questions for me tonight.
Well, I've got off-topic questions I can supply.
All right.
Which this is controversial. It seems to me in listening to the news and the media, that there are two factions of people that have been forming opinions about the progress of the opening of the economy in the coronavirus situation. There's a whole group of people that feel that it's too dangerous to open too quickly. And there's a whole nother group of people that feel that it's silly not to open because they feel that the threat is over. And part of the problem that I see is that we're getting a lot of conflicting information with supposed facts, which could be just opinions. I really don't know, because it's very confusing to find out what's actually the truth. So can you tell us, are we opening the economy or opening our society at a rate that is safe? And are the fears that are being propagated by many justified?
I understand the question, and it is a complicated one in its own way, but it is also very simple. Those people who, we will say, are overprotective. They are busy worrying about that people might get ill, without realizing, of course, that people get ill all the time. People have accidents. There is a recurrence of various diseases that come upon everybody in the society at one time or another. After all, none of you will be able to live in the physical world, in this body, in this lifetime, forever. You are all going to exit at some point in time. And while there is perhaps within your mind a time that is correct for yourself, it is not up to the government to determine whether or not you can live your life the way you wish to live it. That is why you have been incarnated or have immigrated to a country which is designated as being a free place where you can be in charge of your own destiny and what your life will be like. And so those who are overprotective are very much like the overprotective parent who is not allowing his child to grow up and become responsible for themselves. For that is the question. Are you responsible for yourself? Of course you are. So you can make the decision. You see, if we want to protect everyone, it is not possible. I'm sure you can all conceive of the fact that there is no way that everyone can just stay home and be provided all the food they need and not be allowed to do things, not be allowed to visit friends, not be allowed to visit family members. This is not a practical way of life at this time. And so it was all right. Since that is what they decided to close down the society, to keep everyone separate because they were afraid that there would be a huge number of people who would be unable to take care of themselves. There would be so many people unable to take care of themselves and not nearly enough people to take care of those people who couldn't take care of themselves, that the whole country, the whole economy, everyone would become ill and die. And that has not happened. And it is time now to get a bit more practical, to open up, so to speak, and let everyone have the freedom that they are entitled to in the country and is their right in many ways. Because just as I spoke of your responsibility to take care of yourself and say no to people who always ask you to help them when you need to rest and do things, you cannot allow other people to decide what is best for you at all times. Well, you can, but then I will guarantee that you will not always be happy with what they decide for you, which is exactly what is happening among those people who really wish to open up. I believe you will find that is the thought, that I have responsibility for myself. I can stay home if I want, but I want to go to work, and I need to go to work. I have a business that if I don't open my business and start doing business again, I will lose everything that I have because I have no income. And while it is very nice for your government to give you money, where do they get their money? They get it from you. So how can they give you money that they do not have? They are planned to take it back from you. So this is a temporary loan at best when they send you money to stay home. They are going to expect something back from you, and you have to be aware of that. So when it comes to should you open up, of course you should open up, because then everyone can be responsible. Everyone can go back to running their own life and doing what they want to do in their efforts to make themselves happy, healthy, and prosperous. And that is what everyone is here to do in an incarnation. So if you ask me, the answer is probably, you should never have closed down. But seeing as how you had a fear, you reacted to that fear, or your government reacted to that fear. And it is time for your government to stop being fearful and to allow people to take, once again, control of their own lives. That is everyone's purpose in an incarnation, what we have discussed. Why are you here? You are here to create a wonderful life that is filled with success and prosperity and happiness, and is called a perfect incarnation. And you cannot do that if your government tells you you can't, and you can't, and you can't. So therefore, I, of course, am all in favor of opening up, and I will hesitate to assure everyone who may have that fear that you will not be overwhelmed by the number of people who become ill. Perhaps in the beginning that would happen, but at this point in time, it is no longer a consideration. And while everyone should perhaps be aware and be careful, maybe even wear their masks when they are in the presence of other people or strangers, when they are shopping, in crowded places, this probably would be a good piece of protection for themselves if they want to avoid becoming ill. But many people get ill from this virus and hardly notice. It may not attack them strongly at all. And as a result, that is why you are said to have your carriers, which make other people sick, because they do not recognize they are ill. It is like the common cold. Most of the time, you come down with it. Most of the time, when you come down with it, it doesn't put you into bed with nothing to do for days on end. It doesn't attack you a great deal. You don't feel as well. Your head is stuffy, your nose is running, and you, out of courtesy to others, may stay home from work so that you do not pass your cold on to others, and also so that your body has an ample time to rest and heal itself. So this is what people need to do if they become ill, and that is ill from anything that may be contagious and can infect other people. But it is entirely should be up to the individual on what they wish to do.
Can you tell us if they will be successful in creating a vaccination for this virus?
Inasmuch as this virus has already mutated, it will probably fall into the same type of situation such as happens with your flu viruses, that they mix a cocktail of different things that they know help for different types of the flu strain, and they give that to you in an injection, which is hoped will give you immunity. And at the very least, if it is a mutated form of the flu that you get, it will be just enough similar to what it was that they injected you for, that your immune system will recognize it at a fairly early stage and attack it. And already by the time you are sick, you are already on the route to getting well. So are they going to have a vaccine? Probably, but it will be more like your annual flu shot. Are there other questions?
Yes, Rankar, it's Elizabeth again. I was wondering how I could increase my confidence as I move from a formalized religion and try to grow in spirituality. Somehow I've lost my religion and I'm in search of my spirituality at this time.
Well, are you looking for Elizabeth? I mean, for confidence, Elizabeth? Or are you looking for just to know that you have transitioned into a different frame of mind concerning religion and, well, religious activities?
Probably a little of both.
A little of both. Well, I can give you an excellent suggestion. You are undoubtedly aware of affirmations and the way affirmations can help you. And of course, they can help you because you are telling yourself what you need to hear. You are, if you are seeking to have confidence, a very simple phrase, and you might try to write this down, is I have confidence in myself and my abilities. I have confidence in myself and my abilities. It is as simple as that, to make that statement. Now, a form of hypnosis, you could always see a hypnotist and ask him to give you that as a post-hypnotic suggestion that you have great confidence in yourself and your abilities. If you do not wish to see a hypnotist, you may help yourself by simply at night when you go to bed, recite to yourself, I have confidence in myself and my abilities. I have confidence in myself and my abilities. I have confidence in myself and my abilities, because that is a form of self-hypnosis. As you are falling asleep, your subconscious mind is becoming more dominant and aware. But your conscious mind, if it holds in thought, I have confidence in myself and my abilities, and you mutter it slightly out loud or even to yourself out loud to yourself without making any noise, you will be able to program your subconscious mind to think of yourself as being more confident, because you have confidence in yourself and your abilities. If you can say that 20 times at night before going to sleep, you will probably successfully reprogram yourself within 2 to 3 weeks, and you will find that you are feeling somehow just more confident in yourself. Things you never thought you could do before may seem like they are possible for yourself. Now, if you are interested in pursuing your spirituality as opposed to the formalized religion, this takes a little bit of thought. For you must examine what your religion has told you is the truth about ethical behavior and what is right and wrong, and perhaps the 10 Commandments, or if you have followed other religions that are not similar to Christian, what do they tell you you should be doing? And you have to examine these things. Is this right for me? Is this a good thing? Say you were told you must go to church once a week on the Sabbath, whether that be a Saturday or a Sunday, does not matter. But once a week you should go to church and you should worship God. And you can think on that. Is this important for me? Do I get something from that? Is it really important? Now the answer may be yes, it is. If you have a service that you enjoy, a ritual that you enjoy rather, or whether you attend somewhere that uplifts you and inspires you, then the answer is yes, you should try to go to church once a week for the way it uplifts you. But you don't do it because they said you had to. You do it for what you get out of attending the ritual and attending and listening to others' uplifted thoughts. If you don't need that on a weekly basis, perhaps you just want to spend time once a week or every day, a little bit of time thinking about God or meditating, even though in meditation you may or not actively be thinking about God. That would be your decision. But you could use the time to still your mind and be one with God the Father or the Creator, and not think about him, but just think of being one with the Creator of the universe. And you need to do that about many things. Is it important that you do not steal from others? The answer to that is yes, and I hope you will put that on your list of the ways it is important for you to be. Will you steal things? Is it okay to steal others' ideas? Is it okay to steal others' husbands or spouses or children? These are things that, how does this apply to you, and what helps you to lead a better life and make you feel good about yourself? You see, when you act in ways that you know to be harmonious for yourself, you are spiritually, you are growing spiritually in a way. So spiritual growth is examining very often why you do things and deciding to continue to do them or to alter what you do in such a way that makes you happier or a better person. That is spiritual growth. How do I become better? Now, your ultimate goal is to be one with God. That is what they will tell you in many religions. And that is an excellent way of thinking about it. For if you grow spiritually, you grow into the full manifestation of yourself as God. So if you can feel that you are one with God in every way, if you can acknowledge that you are a creator, just like God, in other words, you make the decisions and you take the actions which shape your life, that is truly being a creator. And you are given the opportunity in every day to make many decisions about your own best interest. From the food that you eat, the amount of sleep that you get, the people you associate with, and the work that you do. Are all those decisions in your own best interest to bring about what is best for yourself? This is what being a responsible creator is all about. And a responsible creator is a very spiritual one. Now, a little step above that is, does your words and actions inspire or help others? Do they serve others? If the answers to that question is yes, what I'm doing is of help to others as well as it helps me, then that is good. That is a step in the spiritual level. If you in honesty say, no, what I do does not help people because I am selling something and I am deceiving them as to how good it is, then you are not helping people. So therefore you would need to change your job in order to become more spiritually elevated, because you do not want to deceive people. You want to bring about the best for people. Now, every salesman touts what is good about his product, and that is expected. He does not have to badmouth other people's product. He just says what is good about his and what you can benefit from. So you can adopt that in the way that you act. I do not know what it is you do, but this is what you need to do to grow spiritually. It is very simple. Take what you already know from your own religion and just think about it and decide for yourself what is most important. It is always good. If what is good for you also benefits others, then it is truly the right direction to be moving. And so therefore, you will grow in spirituality daily, particularly if you spend time thinking about what is best for everyone involved and find that which brings about the best for the most amount of people. You are spiritually adept. I hope that is helpful.
Yes, it was. Thank you very much.
You are most welcome. Are there other questions?
Here. Yes, can you hear us?
I can hear you, yes.
Hi, Norma.
Wrong car.
Yes, hello,
Two questions.
this is Mike.
Yes. If we hadn't shut down the society and everything, would it have made any difference? Would we basically be in the same place we are now, except we wouldn't be in poverty stricken, basically? And my other question is, you said that we chose to be incarnated in a free society. Why do some people choose to incarnate into dreadful societies?
Mhm. Uh, well, the second question is more fun to answer.
Okay.
People chose to be born in societies which are, as you have put, more dreadful because of those restrictions. They have a need to know and understand what it is like not to have options. Perhaps they were very carefree and irresponsible in another lifetime when they had freedom. Perhaps they had an excess of money and did not utilize it wisely. For in the more restrictive societies, people in general do not have great deal of prosperity. Everyone is the same, but that generally means that everyone is at a lower level than in a society where everyone has the freedom to decide how hard they will work and what they will do in order to be prosperous. And so in restrictive societies, generally people are not as prosperous, and someone would choose that so that they would learn to have a happy life without an overabundance of physical possessions, learn to appreciate other things in order to be happy. There are many reasons why you might choose to be in a restrictive society. Perhaps you rebelled too much in another time, and now you're born in such a way that you must, in order to do well, you must conform with everyone else. There are many reasons for that, but it's usually a bit of a karmic, or it is a karmic lesson, or it is a demonstration of how well you can control your mind and your thoughts to have a wonderful life, even within a society that is most restricted. And that is a matter of disciplining the way you think, the way you perceive, which can go a long way to giving you a happy life. Your perceptions are actually the most important thing in having a happy life. When you determine that something is good, you know that when you achieve it or do it, that this makes you happy. And so you create your happiness. It's all in your thoughts. If you think that something is not good or somebody did something that you did not like, that judgment too causes you unhappiness. So it is totally up to you whether you are happy or unhappy in your life. It is all in your judgments. Now, the previous first part of the question was, if we had not closed down, would there have been difficulties? There would have been some difficulties because you were short in some places, such as New York City. There was a shortage of beds and equipment at many of the hospitals where the virus first sprung up in what you have come to call hotspots in some of those areas. Of course, perhaps by sending people to other places besides nursing homes, to other hospitals in other districts or other areas, you probably would have been able to solve that problem, but they chose to do it by keeping people separate. And so a short time would have been good. 2 weeks would have been good, as was originally planned. It would have been an interruption, and it also gave a little more time for the governments to find extra equipment, to find extra beds, to find other things. And so it probably would have been good enough that you would find yourself in the same place you are today, pretty much.
Will this hurt President Trump or help him, the way he's responded to the virus?
Well, his people, upon reflection, most of the people, when it comes to President Trump, there are people who are against him, and there are people who are very much for him. And then there's a lot of neutral people. So the people who are against him, who have decided they do not like him and that he is a bad president, it does not matter what he does, he will always be disliked. For those who like him, it is much the same. They will always like him, no matter what he does. For the most of the people that fall in the middle, if they review the actions that he took, they will probably be satisfied by them and not be willing to vote for him, perhaps a second time or perhaps a first time, because they will see that he has done what he can, and most of the discontent at this point in time is directed toward those governors who are not allowing their states to open up, is the phrase, to allow their citizens to be free to do whatever it is they wish. They are still monitoring and suppressing many people's options, and they will be generating resentment toward themselves, which may or may not have a reflection in the next election.
Why are those governors doing that? What's motivating them? Is it political, or are they generally trying to help the people? Do they think they're doing good, or are they just trying to hurt President Trump?
I do not believe most of them are trying to hurt President Trump. I think they are trying to be seen as a loving parent that is taking care of their children, that is all their citizens. And they are being also enjoying the power of having the ability to do that in such a way. You understand? They feel very powerful. They feel very benevolent. They feel very good about themselves because they are the powerful father who is taking care of their citizens. Do you understand? Could you hear that?
I think we lost him. Oh, no, he's still there.
Can you hear me? Well, at the moment, I cannot hear you. Is he muted?
No. He's not functional. He's gone. Something has happened to their connection.
Elizabeth, did
Oh,
you
now
have?
they're back now again.
Says muted all participants.
Do I hear you now?
Yeah, we lost you for a while.
So did that answer your question?
Can you hear us?
I can hear you both.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you. You froze up.
Oh, I see.
I asked you about the governor.
Yeah, yes, the governors who are keeping their states closed, it is two things. They enjoy the power. So they like being powerful. Also, they like their perception of themselves as being the good father who is taking care of his children, his citizens, by protecting them from the nasty boys around the corner, or the next country. They feel very powerful in what they are doing, and they see themselves as doing wonderful things for their citizens because they are protecting them from the virus. Well, in truth, they have overstepped their bounds, and their citizenry will probably be more angry with them for not being allowed to get back to a normal life.
Okay, we got you.
Got it
Thank
this
you.
time.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. So call your governor and tell him that he's making you unhappy and he's not being a good father. You need to be a responsible person yourself and take care of yourself.
Yep, I agree.
Are there other questions?
Oh, it's 9, almost 10 of 9, 8 of 9.
So it is close to 9 o'clock and no one is coming up with another question. So it is probably time for me to say goodnight. Remember that Juana always returns after I say goodnight because she needs her time to say goodnight also. So I give you all my blessings. Good night.
Good night. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Hi, I'm back. Okay, well, I guess that's it for the evening. It's been really fun. I'm sorry some of you had a great deal of difficulty getting in, but it was not our fault this time. It was, I think there are just too many people on too many meetings at the same time, and it is difficult for the equipment to handle everything at once, or the airwaves, or however it goes to the, I don't think it goes to wires, but it was not our failure. And I just remember, I love you all, and I'll talk to you next week. Love you. Good night.